Good morning, everyone. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us this morning to celebrate our 10th annual Building Momentum Breakfast. My name is Elijah Evans, and I'm the Executive Director here at Bikes Not Bombs. We're actually going to start with a poem that was performed by one of our youth apprentices at the first Ride for Black Lives this summer.
Hello guys, my name is Joseph Pires. During the June Black Lives Matter ride, I made a poem and it's simply titled Black Lives Matter, and I'm going to be performing it for everyone today. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, no matter what. We give our all and nothing but. We donate our time and never expect a cut. When our black blood spatters, we have to keep our mouths shut. Sorry. No, never. That's not how we roll. You take from us, you pay the toll. We built your country from the ground up. But of course they'll just lie, the government is corrupt. They can try to take the credit, but they can't take our knowledge. So let's rise up and pay homage. Raise your fists, raise them high. They want to put us down, but fight through if they try. I know it's hard. Yes, you'll cry. But the emotions are better than standing idly by. Do what you can. They can't be a threat. Know that you'll have someone to catch you if you misstep. The path to righteousness isn't easy going, but fight for those who are busy coping. They aren't silent because they want to, but because they can't believe all this. They see all of us dying and realize the length of that list. That ends here. That ends now. No more of us should die. That we won't allow. We're asking for peace, not for revenge. And with the people who've died, this is how we avenge. We say Black Lives Matter. Not that others don't, but that others can't handle what we go through, and most importantly, they won't. They couldn't walk a mile in our shoes, and that's the sad part. But they tell us that it hurts them too, that it pains their heart. Some people are genuine and some want to be honest, but we need to know who they are now because tomorrow is never promised. We're here to come together, and we're here for social change. So let's speak our mind and reach the highest level of our vocal range. In the act of writing, we will keep striving. And through it all, we can gain friends and family to confide in. So let's achieve elevated levels and lead people through this social ladder, because we're not going to stop until Black Lives Matter.
Awesome. This poem was written by and performed by Joseph Pires. He's a youth apprentice here, senior youth apprentice on our staff, who's been with us since 2018. We're so grateful to have Joseph here with us today as a speaker and for his service as a leader in our community. I think my favorite line is toward the end where he says, "In the act of us riding, we will keep striding, and through it all, we can gain friends and family to confide in." I think it really speaks to the essence of Bikes Not Bombs and the kind of community that we have here. Since 1984, we've shipped over 75,000 bicycles to countries in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Each one of those bicycles representing the opportunity to improve individual lives and the communities where they're sent. Since 1984, we've also worked with over 4,000 young people in our innovative youth cycling program right here in Boston, helping them develop skills in self-efficacy and curbing things like boredom and violence. 2020 has certainly been a year for the books. I think we can all agree. COVID-19 has had a profound impact on Bikes Not Bombs and the communities we serve. To start, there's been a dramatic decrease in the number of bicycles donated overall, which has meant fewer bikes distributed to people and communities who need them most. At the same time, this year, because of your critical support, Bikes Not Bombs has stayed open during the pandemic as an essential business with curbside service and strict policies in place to protect staff, volunteers, participants, and customers. We want to give a huge thank you to our staff, our board, our youth apprentices, and our volunteers, all of whom have helped make this year a huge success. It's meant so much for our constituents, and on their behalf, I just want to say thank you to you all. We also want to thank Lindsay Briggs, David Fisher, Anna Zuniga, and Joseph Pires for being here today and for being willing to share their stories. First, a bit about me and why after 17 years, I feel more committed today to our mission than ever before. As many of you may know, I started off as an Earn a Bike participant, and it made a huge difference in my life. I had the opportunity to serve in multiple roles across the organization since 2003, from youth instructor to youth director to board member, and now as executive director. When I took the position after some time away, I really looked forward to it. It really felt like I was coming back home. I was excited to lead this critical, transformative work, and almost 4 years in, I'm just as excited to lead us forward. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Boston by a single mom from the island of Trinidad who worked tirelessly as a nurse to provide for my family and my education. I studied African American history and Spanish linguistics at the University of Massachusetts. My first exposure to bicycling was learning how to ride in Franklin Park with my brothers. I first got involved at Bikes Not Bombs when I was 14 years old. My mom at the time wanted me to be more engaged after school because I would otherwise waste the afternoon away watching TV. At the time, I was in the Brookline Metro program, which meant that I was being bused from Roxbury to Brookline and back every day. And at first I hesitated, but as I thought about it, I got more excited about the opportunity to learn more practical job-related skills, which is important in Caribbean culture. For my mom, the connection of first working with her hands was sewing. And for me, thanks to Bikes Not Bombs, it became bike mechanics. My Earn a Bike experience was super positive from the beginning, learning how to use tools, how to build up a bike, meeting new people. But what kept me coming back was the community that I found. Almost instantly, I was welcomed by everyone. And for the first time in my life, I had felt like I found a place where I could be myself in a world where systemic racism and oppression are still very much a reality. Growing up at Bikes Not Bombs, I had mentors who encouraged me, who helped me find my potential. When I left Bikes Not Bombs or left the staff in 2013, 10 years after getting involved, I decided to join Teach for America and become a classroom teacher. The first moment that I realized that I could do that I could follow my dream and teach in the classroom was teaching Earn a Bike at Bikes Not Bombs. And there's just something really magical about that we're helping people discover their passion. After that first opportunity, my experience at Bikes Not Bombs really just took off, and I'm really excited for what we're able to provide for more young people, and I'm super grateful for the opportunities that I've been afforded. So you might be wondering, what does Bikes Not Bombs do? What is our theory of change if you're just getting to know us? What we do at Bikes Not Bombs is we reclaim bikes that would otherwise be discarded, and we use them to empower people, transforming not only their lives and futures, but the lives and futures of their families, communities, and our planet. There's a ripple effect. When we were founded in 1984, it was quite literally Bikes Not Bombs. And I think since then, we've evolved to understanding bombs to mean more than just physical bombs, but also oppression and justice. We have a bold vision that bicycles can be used as a powerful tool to address people's most pressing needs, from health and the environment to transportation and workforce development. Our programs start with bike collections. We collect thousands of bicycles each year, all of which are sorted and flattened by our youth and volunteers. We receive donations in three main ways. We accept drop-offs at our bike shop. We do pickups throughout the greater Boston area, driving a truck. And we host bike drives in partnership with urban and suburban community partners. And even after all these years, it's pretty amazing. And as I look around the space that I'm in right now, just to see bikes piled all over the place, and more importantly, what opportunities they represent for the people that we serve. The majority of these bikes are shipped to our international partners, where they're used as transportation and as capital to establish micro enterprises, turned into pedal-powered machines, or become part of a bicycle program like the one we have here in Boston. We are particularly proud of our partnership with Learn Work Develop in Rwanda, a social enterprise working to create educational, life skill development, and job opportunities for youth and women. Last year, we shared that Learn Work Develop received their second container of bicycles and parts and had successfully set up 3 small shops in distinct areas of Rwanda. This year, they built 2 community centers funded in part by the bicycles we shipped to them. And these community centers are dedicated to improving the health and well-being of girls and women, including single mothers who are often marginalized. Learn Work Develop has also begun laying the groundwork to expand all their work across all of Rwanda with financial support from the government. So they've been a huge success story, and we're excited to continue to support them and sustain their impact. Bikes not shipped overseas are distributed in our local programs here in Boston. Through Bike School and Youth Pathways each year, we serve dozens of youth who come from some of Boston's most underserved communities like Roxbury, Mattapan, and Dorchester. Our approach engages young people in their own development, providing programming that meets their pressing needs, such as vocational training and leadership development, things that the public school system just is not offering in a substantial way. We expect a lot of our youth leaders. At Bikes Not Bombs, we're pretty serious about leadership at the community level. They make key decisions, shape the vision and future for all of our programs. 2 of our amazing youth leaders, Anna Zuniga and Joseph Pires, who you'll meet in a moment, are proof of our commitment to that. Finally, our bike shop and vocational training center refurbishes and sells some of the donated bikes we receive and employs many of the graduates of our bike school, providing them with skills, training, and for many of them, their first job ever. They teach advanced training courses, free clinics on bike maintenance, and provide quality, affordable service. The profit from the shop sales and repairs helps fund and sustain our local and international development work. It's a really neat model, and it's honestly how we've been able to sustain ourselves all these years. In terms of our achievements this year, I just want to acknowledge a number of things. We've shipped a record-breaking 636 bicycles to our partner, Learn Work Develop in Rwanda. That was in July. Over the summer, we launched, spring and summer, we launched 3 new programs, Bike Match, Bike Institute, and On the Bike, that collectively distributed over 100 bicycles to youth and adults in the Boston area. We have provided 39 jobs to Boston area teens. We graduated 36 youth and adults from our bike school programs. And during a pandemic, that's not easy to do, as I'm sure you can imagine. We co-organized 4 Ride for Black Lives events, which are Black-led, Black-centered bike rides to raise visibility and awareness of racial inequities that exist not only in Boston and the cycling community, but also nationwide and across industries. Hundreds of unique riders participated in these rides spanning from June to September. Now, we have a short video to share with you that we hope you enjoy. It was created by Lindsay Briggs, an amazing community advocate, mother, and journalist who spent some time with us this summer and fall. We invite you to take a look at our work and hear from some of the people who are directly engaged. Bike by Bike, we're really putting together something special here.
Bicycling is at the intersection of climate justice, of economic justice, and of racial justice.
Seeing young people step up as leaders. It's phenomenal to see young people who started 2 summers ago really take on mentoring and supporting other young people. It's also cool to see young people who are just getting started really take initiative and challenge themselves and take on things that I don't think I would feel comfortable doing as a young person. One of the Ride for Black Lives that we did this summer, our youth apprentice, Joseph Pires, did a poem, and it was powerful. It was moving, and I was super proud to see him stand up in a crowd of 800 people and really speak passionately about what needs to change.
The bicycle represents even more than just two wheels and a frame getting you from A to B. Yes, that's fantastic, but just this mentality of stewardship, of sustainability, of education, of recycling and repurposing. I see that as a trend, as something that especially the younger generations are taking more seriously and taking action.
Are kind of like, unless it's your like second or third year, you're kind of learning as you go, and I thought it's really great because it's like learn by experience, but also anyone you ask for help is like always going to help you, and they're never going to like be judgmental or anything. So it's very like everyone is helpful, and then also just with the other youth apprentices who don't know anything either, you can figure it out together, and it kind of is good for team building. And the whole like atmosphere or community is really great.
All I've known is working at B&B during the pandemic, and what I've realized is that the Bikes Not Bombs mission of using the bicycle as a vehicle for social change truly transcends borders. We have international programs, but we're keeping thousands of bikes out of the waste stream. We're having youth work on those bikes so they have jobs. We're employing youth to fix up these bikes and give them back to the community locally in Boston at a low cost. So yeah, not only are we sending bikes internationally, we're also giving them out to essential workers for free, and we're creating jobs for youth.
We get calls all the time from people who are homeless, who are unemployed, who are underemployed, and need a way to get around. We have programs where youth as well as adults can earn a bike, can learn bike mechanics, bike maintenance, build up a bike, earn a bike, it's theirs to keep. Not everybody can do those programs. I mean, not everybody has the time, the capacity, can't get here to do it, and some people just need a bike. And so we're really working on transforming Bike Match into a tool that's more broadly accessible to the community.
When COVID first started impacting the city, we were all, kind of trying to scramble on how to get to work. One of my coworkers at Boston Healthcare for the Homeless sent out an email to some of the case workers and case managers saying, if you guys are struggling to get to your shifts, we were working at COVID tents at the time and at the COVID hospital, you should submit an application for this, like such a cool program. I'm familiar with the work they do in the community, and I think they're really in line with their mission. I submitted an application for the Bike Match program, but once I, signed up for the emails, now I've been kind of keeping up with the cool programs that the organization has. So
I think organizations like Bikes Not Bomb, who really serves the community in which they live in, is very important. I don't think people realize the amount of access that is lacking to underserved communities, and the ways that organizations could come in and chip in different ways. And Bikes Not Bomb is a transportation aspect of it.
Would definitely support kid involvement in the program, right? You're going to learn some great skills, you're going to learn a great community, and they're really going to nurture you. From a donor or collaborator perspective, I would encourage the growth and the support of this program because you know, they really do need the donated bikes, the donated support and energy in the community to stand behind the great work they do, and it's only going to benefit our community, our kids. So I would fully endorse and support this company. Yeah.
Yeah. So Bikes Not Bombs was my dream organization from the start. The moment that I saw what its mission statement was and went on the website and read up on its values, I was hooked. And I think that's exactly what we need to do on social media and through our online presence. We just need to get our name out there and spread our values and our mission, because really Bikes Not Bombs is such a great organization that it doesn't take much convincing.
Having the bike has really allowed me to just, okay, I'm stressed, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm just going to go on a bike ride and just go by the water. So that's been really fun for me, getting to explore the different neighborhoods of Boston and the greater Boston area. It's also really helped me better understand segregation in Boston, especially just in terms of where are there nice bike paths. You can see such distinct divides where you have this like beautifully paved, color-coded, protected bike path, and then the next thing you know, you're like in the middle of traffic. So really just helping me kind of better understand and appreciate the structured nature of the city and Boston, and who gets access to these kinds of resources and who can really take advantage of such a fun, healthy, active way of life like biking.
I'm a white man, so I'm a really bad example of you know, supporting communities that don't look like me. But I'm so grateful to be here to sort of do everything that I can to support Bikes Not Bombs and to be an ally. And I think that it's so important to dismantle this idea, this stigma that being a mechanic, that getting your hands dirty, that you know, showing up to work and picking things up and fixing stuff, and like I said before, skills like problem solving and team building. There's no one who is better at that or worse at that, or anyone that should be excluded from having that experience or discouraged from having that experience.
It put me in spaces where I was talking with people about building the programs, about building opportunities, and it propelled me to where I'm going. And I say all that to say I wouldn't have been able to do it without Bikes Not Bombs, and I say it a lot, but I really mean it. But that's just a testament to that is the possibility of all of our programs that we have here and the mentorship that we have here, that we can really inspire young people, inspire our volunteers, inspire our staff to be their best and to bring their best with them every day. So.
Empowerment is a really important value of ours. I think change is only sustainable when the people who are most affected are part of the solution.
Yes, well, it's not male-dominated here, right. That's for sure. So Sisters in Action is a program that's open to anyone who identifies as a girl or a woman. It's multi-generational. I am dying to take it with my 18-year-old daughter.
One of the youth who was in the school said, I want to go to Bikes Not Bombs and I want to become a mechanic, you know? And it was really cool that that second grader was able to see themselves in that position as a member of one of our programs, becoming employed through Bikes Not Bombs, changing the world one bicycle at a time, and then, you know, eventually moving on to leadership positions, whether it's here at the organization or elsewhere.
Part of our strategy is to really provide people with those resources, whether it's a bicycle, whether it's training, right? There's some of those intangibles that often, we can overlook, but it's really critical. And with those resources and training, people are really able to do for themselves. It has a ripple effect in that families are impacted when one person starts biking, because then they're able to recruit other people to do that and spread the knowledge. So I think our mission has real relevance, whether it's the pandemic or whatever the crisis is. We really see that bicycles can play an impactful role in solving those problems.
Representation is so important. The majority of bicycle manufacturing and frames, they're made in Taiwan, they're made in China. But do you see, Asian Americans represented in cycling advertisements? Do you see black and brown people represented in bike shops, in advertisements? Is marketing targeted toward them? No. But here at Bikes Not Bombs, when the youth see that there are people of color in positions of leadership, they can see themselves in that position as well. And I think that's really important to show that the bicycle does not discriminate, right? And Bikes Not Bombs creates opportunities where people of color can, work on the parts and make a difference in their communities.
I want to see more of our alumni on staff. I want to see more alumni on our board, and we're actively working to make that happen, particularly on the latter. We're recruiting people who maybe graduated 10 or, even as recent as 5 years ago. Maybe they're beyond college or some vocational training.
I'm so excited about the work that is to come, because when I came in 2018, a lot of those conversations were just ideas. It was brainstorms, and to see over the 2 years him making it happen with the staff, it's inspirational, because then the idea becomes an action. So it's just been, representation is so important. I don't think any other leader who has not been through the programs, who isn't a person of color, could have accomplished what he's accomplishing right now.
What a phenomenal video. I think it really gives good insight in terms of what we do, what our impact is, what a unique year it's been for us. And I just want to say thank you again to Lindsay, Jabari, everyone who participated in the video to help make it happen. Next up, we have David Fisher. David is one of our most committed supporters. He's been a supporter of Bikes Not Bombs since 2015. He currently serves on the board of Benjamin Franklin Institute of Technology, or BFIT, a current B&B community partner. We hope to deepen our relationship with BFIT in the coming years, especially as they move to Roxbury, in an effort to expand access to post-secondary education and training for Black and other marginalized people. Please join me in welcoming David to the floor.
Thank you very much, Elijah. It's very difficult. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to address your group here. I feel very honored to be here as I'm not going to go too far into this, but I'm a suburban white guy, and I feel a little bit not worthy. I am not worthy, but I think your organization is unbelievable. I congratulate Joe and you and Lindsay and everybody who has put this day together, because the work is so important. First of all, it's all about the kids, right? Youth pathways. You're teaching kids skills, life skills. You're teaching kids responsibility. The apprentice program that you've set up, it's amazing. Your focus on youth is fantastic. Secondly, it's all about the bike. So it's a love affair with bikes. It's a healthy, clean form of transportation, zero carbon footprint, diverting the waste stream. you know, every aspect, the environmental impact is so strong. Finally, you guys are more results driven than any organization I've ever seen. I mean, I compare some of the other things I'm involved with. I can't come up with anybody who's, you know, quite as results driven as Ben Franklin, as Bikes Not Bombs. Ben Franklin is great too, but Bikes Not Bombs is amazingly results driven. So I'll keep it very short, but I want to tell you just a second about how I got involved with Bikes Not Bombs. I've been involved for more than 5 years. A friend of mine was involved with a bike drive out in Medfield, where I live, and it really, I was hooked from the outstart. You know, I went to a bike drive. People were collecting bikes that were rarely used, sitting in their garage, and Bikes Not Bombs converted that into a very positive thing. You know, people would give their bikes, Bikes Not Bombs would do something good with the bikes. You know, Elijah mentioned some high percentage goes to overseas to help people kind of improve their life overseas and provide them with transportation, provide them with actual work. I'm interested that the bikes get used as a bike, but they also get used as a tool to build things. So about 5 years ago, I was training for the Pan Mass Challenge. I had a traumatic brain injury, so I was no longer able to do the Pan Mass Challenge. And Bikes Not Bombs has given me a great way to stay involved with the bike community. So without doing a 200-mile ride, which I can't do anymore. So I really, really feel strongly that Bikes Not Bombs is not only a great community thing, and you know, everything that you're doing for kids and the environment, and you're just doing so much positive. I'm you know, I could get more emotional about it, so I'm going to stop right there and just thank you very much for the opportunity to be here and for the opportunity to be a very small part of your great organization. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Definitely. Thank you so much, David. And quick correction, sorry, David's been a supporter since 2013. Apologies for that. Supporting us for much longer than 5 years. Our next speaker is Anna Zuniga, who started working with us this year. Over the summer, Anna worked in the bike shop as a sales apprentice, learning fundamentals of sales and customer service. This fall, Anna also led our Sisters in Action program, which engages girls, non-binary, and trans people to learn how to refurbish a bicycle. It's not typical that a youth apprentice leads an entire program in their first year, but Anna did, and it speaks to her dedication and potential as a leader. We're so thrilled to have her share her story with you all today. Let's hear it for Anna Zuniga.
Thank you so much, Elijah. It's 2012. I'm a little 8-year-old who just got off her training wheels in a big crowd of adult bikers getting ready for their 100-mile ride. I was a little worried. My family was excited to go on the 15-mile ride for the bike-a-thon with Bikes Not Bombs. I remember how proud I was that I did the first 8 miles, and super excited I got an Izzy soda and food afterwards. About 8 years later, earlier this fall, my friend and I biked 50 miles for the same fundraiser. 50 miles was never a distance I thought I could have accomplished, and I never could have done it without Bikes Not Bombs, my fellow coworkers, and friends. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Zuniga, and I'm a junior at Boston Latin School and an employee at Bikes Not Bombs. This summer, my original plan was to work at a medical lab or doing some sort of data analysis, but due to COVID-19, it didn't work out. I was worried that my summer would be boring as I was unable to see my friends, and I didn't know what I would do. I then looked for other jobs and opportunities on SuccessLink, a website for finding jobs for youth in Boston, and saw Bikes Not Bombs. And while I was worried I didn't know much about bikes, I wouldn't have changed how the summer went. I remembered the bike-a-thon I did when I was younger and decided to apply so that I could still work in the science and math field, but with my hands on the mechanics of a bicycle. I became close with my coworkers, and together we learned how to fix and build bikes to sell and how to work in sales. As an extrovert, I felt comfortable working with sales, but when I didn't know a customer's answer, I'd become unsure of myself and unsure of my abilities. My coworkers and bosses helped me and the other apprentices to learn and feel more comfortable in the bike shop. Each day in the summer, I would be excited to go into work and learn a new cool thing I didn't know the day before. I remember the first bike I ever built and the first phone call I ever answered alone. It was one of my best friends. I was very confident and excited to say, "Good afternoon, Bikes Not Bombs, Anna speaking." I was confused at first when she just said, "Anna, it's Rose." I felt proud of myself when finishing the bike, and even prouder when my first sale was that bike. She now rides her bike every day to school and uses it for both transportation and exercise. Seeing her start to ride more, especially to school, makes me happy that I made a small difference. Over the course of the summer, I was able to learn and become a leader within the organization, and so I applied to keep working throughout the school year. In September, Elijah asked me to work with Sisters in Action to start teaching classes to other girls, non-binary, and trans people in Boston. I was a little scared at first that I wouldn't be a good instructor, but he helped me to take charge of the class and teach what I've learned this summer to others. Sisters in Action just recently ended, and looking back, I am extremely grateful and proud of each and every one of the students. They showed interest in each and every lesson, and even if I wasn't that confident, they still continued to ask questions and show that they wanted to be here. In this program, we were able to take students on rides and get them to feel more comfortable riding throughout Boston. Riding in Boston has been something I've gotten much better and comfortable this summer. And while riding alongside Boston drivers is harder than other cities, I've been able to feel more comfortable riding every day to work and riding for fun around the city with my dad. Looking at what all the students have accomplished over the few weeks, I'm amazed how fast they learned and worked together. And as a girl in the bike world and planning to go into STEM, I'm incredibly grateful to be able to teach Sisters in Action to girls like me and be at Bikes Not Bombs. In the next few months, I'm looking forward to teaching Bike Institute and Sisters in Action again and working more in the shop. As well, I'm grateful to be able to teach next summer's youth apprentices so that they can come into the bike world and learn the skills that I love so much. I didn't expect the amount of support coming from all my employees. And in the shop, I'm not just a girl, but a fellow employee. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. And sorry, just to give you another shout out, I honestly don't know how we would have run Sisters in Action this fall if you didn't step up. So we really appreciate that. When we say our youth apprentices are critical to how we operate and our programming, we really mean that. So shout out again, Anna. Our final speaker is Joseph Pyrus. Joseph is a dedicated young man who took Earn a Bike in 2018. Since then, he's worked as a youth apprentice in multiple roles across the organization, including as a leader in our BOCA program, which stands for Bicyclists Organizing for Community Action. Joseph is a big bike lover who wants people to know that he's always here to help. Let's hear for Joseph.
Hi again, actually. But A bit of context on me. I'm 17 years old, and I've lived in Boston all my life. So when I finally was able to get involved with Bikes Not Bombs, it was kind of, a big experience for me. And here's what I have to say about it. I first got involved with Bikes Not Bombs in late June of 2016. Sorry, video is on, okay. First got involved with Bikes Not Bombs in late June of 2016. I was part of a program called Earn a Bike. I was told by one of my older friends, Jaron, who was working there at the time, about it. He said, seeing as I have an interest in cars and that I'm an attentive listener, I'd pick it up rather quickly. And so when I enrolled and finally entered this world of bikes, I discovered one thing. The kids and staff alike were very invested in the organization. That's the one thing that always kept me coming back to B&B, is the atmosphere. The learning environment was strong. Anyone who walked in there was actively looking for something to learn that they didn't know before, and learn more about things they already knew. I loved the energetic, captivating people. Everyone had a story, and everyone was willing to share both their past with bikes and their personal experiences. In addition to that, if ever you wanted to talk or even find someone to ride with, the hub was the place to be. Riding in Boston can be tedious though. From personal experience, the safety level riding throughout Boston averages at a 6 out of 10. The infrastructure is there for some neighborhoods, and when it is, it's protected. For the places it isn't, it's a hassle to commute. The drivers are impatient, the traffic can be very heavy, and the bus lanes can take up whatever bike lane that may be present. Other than that, it needs a lot of road work, potholes and cracks, but that's just Boston, am I right? B&B does a great job of teaching road riding safety, and that also gave me peace of mind. But that wasn't the only thing that they taught me. B&B has helped me mentally and emotionally. As I mentioned before, it's a safe haven for people who may be looking to get their mind off things and talk to people who can share their love for bikes, riding, and the love for the community. Lastly, and most importantly, I was taught about my self-worth. Bikes Not Bombs was one of the things that kept my head above water. Previously, I stated that in 2016, I got involved with B&B. The same year, sadly, my grandfather passed away on August 13th. My grandfather was one of my biggest male role models, revered by everyone everywhere, family, neighbors, strangers, and a couple public figures back in his country of Cabo Verde. Bikes Not Bombs didn't know it at the time, but my involvement during the summer helped me realize that I can impact other people and I can make a change. I can inspire others just like my grandfather did. I can be the proof of his wonderful life. I could have an impact both directly in my community and across the world. I could carry on his namesake by doing the very things that made him the man he was. So that's exactly what I set out to do, and I don't plan to stop. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joseph. Like I mentioned, Joseph has been here for a couple of years. He's had multiple roles. This summer, he was kind of like our certified ambassador, really representing the organization, doing interviews, talking to people about our mission, and again, another critical way that our young people support our work and lead our work effectively. So what is our vision for the future? Well, bicycling is at the intersection of many forms of justice, as the Congresswoman said, environmental justice, economic justice, and racial justice. Bikes Not Bombs aims to create a more just and equitable society in Boston and around the world. And today, our communities are facing bombs that are rooted in the same systems of oppression that we confronted at the time of our founding. There's a greater need than ever for helping disempowered youth achieve a sense of belonging, joy, and growth in their learning. We seek to provide engagement and continuity through employing teens and young adults at our social enterprise, people who are struggling to find their way in a world that marginalizes them based on their race, immigration status, gender, and sexual orientation. These young people, full of potential, need only the opportunity to explore their curiosity and develop a core set of transferable skills. I want to take a sec to reference the Gearing Up for Growth Impact Report, which we'll screen share. There are a few noteworthy commitments that we'd like to bring your attention to as we invite you all to make an investment in our mission. There are lots of ways to support the organization at multiple levels, and we'll kind of talk through a bit about that right now. In our next 5-year strategic plan, we would like to unite the organization around shared values and the commitment to advancing racial equity. We'd like to grow the number of youth apprenticeships and workforce development opportunities available, including certification at United Bicycle Institute in Portland or BFIT in Roxbury. We'd like to collaborate with the City of Boston to expand the Bike Match program to the homeless, the unemployed, and the underemployed living in Boston. We'd like to establish bike school partnerships within more Boston public schools and other community-driven nonprofits. We've had really preliminary conversations with organizations like Youth Build, which is actually moving down the street from us, and More Than Words in the South End, two phenomenal youth-serving organizations that are kind of excited about how the bicycle can help the young people that they're working directly with. We'd like to create a sustainable business plan centered around generating revenue, primarily from refurbished bicycles. And we'd like to generate 50% of bike shop revenue from the online sale of bicycles, parts, and accessories. Gary, if you could scroll over to the, I think, 3rd page. So how can you support? I just want to make a kind of a direct pitch to everyone here. We have a bold vision. There are lots of things that we want to accomplish, and as you all know, there are lots of issues out there that the bicycle can really help address. In the Gearing Up for Growth Impact Report, there are a variety of levels that we are offering as ways to kind of help directly impact folks that are on the ground, and we invite you to consider making an investment in our future. If you have any questions about giving levels or what exactly we're looking to support in our strategic plan, reach out to Angela Finney. Her contact information is listed there. You can email her at angela@bikesnotbombs. Over the last 3 years, we've made some critical investment in our operational capacity and financial sustainability. Our work with the Capacity Institute, a 2-year organizational development process that helps youth-serving nonprofits create a plan for effectiveness, will be completed in June 2021. As a result, we've crafted a new mission statement, which we're sharing today, and a strategic plan that aims to better meet the needs of the youth in the communities we serve in Boston and overseas for years to come. Recently, our next door neighbor, the Boston Pretzel Company, they've shut their doors and vacated their 3,300 square foot space that's in the brewery right adjacent to us. I'm actually in it right now, that's where I'm speaking from. This presents an incredible yet urgent opportunity for Bikes Not Bombs to leverage this chance to secure our future and ensure long-term stability. With this expanded physical space, we can finally provide all of our programs the physical capacity needed to meet the current demand and to grow. In closing, we're so proud of how far we've come over the last 36 years. But we're also aware of how much more we could be doing if we had more resources. For example, we'd like to be able to respond in the next year to every partnership request we get from local places like Cambridge, Lowell, or Brockton, or countries overseas like Aruba, Trinidad, or Haiti. Some of the groundwork is in process for some of these, but it takes a great deal of resources, as you'll see in the impact report, to really make this happen and make it sustainable, right? Because that's the business that we're in. Just like Bikes Not Bombs, sorry, the poll just popped up. Just like Bikes Not Bombs has partnered with Learn Work Develop in Rwanda or Day Needing Academy here in Boston, people see a real need in their community and how Bikes Not Bombs can partner with them to help fill that gap. We'll continue to receive requests from people all throughout the world who have the drive, the interest, and the ideas, and they just need the bikes, the technical training, and the support to make it happen. I want to say thank you, especially to the members of the Wheels in Motion team, many of whom are with us today. If you're interested in joining it, you should email angela@bikesnotbombs.org, and we'll get you connected. Your support this year and in years past has allowed us to plan more effectively and simply get more done. I feel so lucky to be a part of this work because every day we're building youth leadership and creating healthier communities, both locally and globally, all with concrete on-the-ground solutions that are focused on empowerment and rooted in the strengths of our partners and participants. Now, I want to invite each and every one of you here to join me and the Bikes Not Bombs community. There are so many ways to get involved and take action. This is a moment for taking action. From our bike recycling to bike shipping, to our shop programs, to being an instructor in our bike school, to making a financial investment in our mission. I invite you to share our vision, support our strategies, and help us make a real impact on people's lives every day. We have a final clip to share with you as we close. We're so grateful again just for everyone being here. This is our 10th annual Building Momentum Breakfast. 10 years is a big deal, and we're just happy that you're all here to share this moment with us. We didn't know that it would be virtual, but you know, we're taking every challenge as it comes. I'm gonna hand it off to Gary, and I think we're gonna just play a short clip from the Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. Thank you, everyone.
A black child raised by proud black parents and black activists. Oftentimes people will misunderstand that righteous rage and indignation. It does not come from a place of hate. It is all about love. It is about love for my family and love for my community. It is about an unapologetic self-determination that I have earned. My skin is not a crime. It is the role of nation building. But we have been criminalized, surveyed, profiled, under-resourced, over-policed, lynched, brutalized, murdered, and we are still here.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to sign off.